Here I sit, watching the world burn around me. The teacher I once was cries in darkness, and the rage that I once buried comes free. My teeth they want to rend and tear, but I know that such would be vain, and I am helpless as the people scream in fear. The wolf in me howls in fury. The wolf in me growls in pain for the people in power want misery. And those that I called family, those that I once called friends, they bow their heads in supplication, and their knees once strong now bends. I will have no more of this. I will no longer keep silent, and in the fight I will find bliss. At the end I may find my work puts me in the abyss, but as long as freedom and justice rings, I will find peace even in this. Sometimes the den, it brings me solace away, deep, damp, and wreathed in shadow. But it's not me to let the world outside fall lawless. So with my words and with my fight, I get ready for the oncoming storm. I get ready for the uprising, burning bright. Blades and fiery powder lighting up the sky. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Let the old systems fall, let them pass with a sigh. Let us build something we can be proud of, build the future that we can see with pride, and give it to those who follow, those we love. I will have no more of this. I will no longer keep silent, and in the fight I will find bliss. At the end I may find my work puts me in the abyss, but as long as freedom and justice rings, I will find peace even in this.
Hello everyone, how are we doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing great. As people start filtering in, please remember to like, share. I'm so used to watching YouTube. I always want to say like, share, and subscribe, and then I realized that's not quite how this works. So anyway, do all the things is indeed the message that I'm trying to promote. As you can see, we are giving the players all the a little bit of a time off, just so that they can recoup from the stuff that we've put them through so far. And we're going to have a DM panel of all the people that have been putting in their work, their their intellectual labor into the background of all of this game. And we're going to be talking about that. And then next week, we'll go right back into the game, picking up where we left off after some crazy stuff happened, stuff that just nobody could have ever thought of. We'll see what happens with all that. It's going to be nobody can quite tell the machinations that we have in store. But as we begin tonight, let us start bringing in our sub DMs. We are missing 2 so far, but we're gonna hopefully they'll get in here when they get in here. In the meantime, we'll just pop these 2 in. Hey, Nicholas. Pocket. How are you?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm noticing my cam is making me look awfully blue today. I don't know why. Do I look blue to anybody else?
You do. It's giving Violet Beauregard.
Violet, you're turning violet.
You're turning violet, Violet.
Put down the bubble gum.
Is that better?
That is better.
Yes.
I mean, I could go more. I can go full black and white. You know. Do a
Oh,
little
very
noir.
It actually looks pretty dope.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck it. I'll keep it noir for tonight. So
Heaney.
he's blue. Da da dee da da da. What's that from?
The Blue Man Group? Are we kidding?
Okay, yeah. I just
Inside and outside.
Welp. Well. I'm gonna scream at Hammy and Juan.
Yes. Scream
Be
at them.
gentle.
Oh,
no.
never mind. The
Scream
two
at
kinds of
him.
people. Two kinds of people.
Listen. Scream at Hammy, but we have to be gentle with Duck. Duck is
okay.
Duck is
tough.
going through a lot. It's true. Doesn't mean I won't yell at him though, because he is my brother, and I have that privilege. But let's see here.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Another Fenrirson
Oh, thanks, honey.
Fenrir Tierson. Look at that. Almost. Oh, you know what? We'll have to talk. Me and this Fenrir Tierson. See if he's a false prophet like the other Fens that I know.
I don't think he's a false prophet. I think he's just a big old fan of Fenrir.
Well, you know, all the other Fens I've met. Falsehoods. Liars.
Yeah,
cheats.
there's a lot of really terrible Fens out there.
Well, I'm speaking of Fen and Tigrum. And Fen... What's the
I
other-
love that Fen. What do you mean?
He's a false prophet. He can't have my name.
He's not.
Can't have my name. And the other one is Fen and Tigrum, and what's the other one? Shit.
How much to drop a mod?
Well,
How much to drop a mod?
well. I don't know anymore. Well, I don't know where the other 2 are. So as we, I'm gonna flashbang myself. Is there a way to do dark? Jesus Christ, dark mode for Excel? Because holy, then there it is again.
Oh, Jesus. I wish there was. That looks painful.
It is not pleasant. It is not pleasant. So I guess while we wait for the other 2, I don't know what's going on. You know what? You know, I have a third party I can. I got another person I can reach out to see if what's going on. And then anyway, well, let's go. I don't know what to do. I don't know where these 2 are. They said they would be here and available, and they're being punks about it. So
We can chill and chat for a little bit. That's okay.
yeah, you know what? Let's chill and chat. What do you want to chill and chat about?
I am not sure, but I'm sure we can come up with something. Oh, so you're currently playing in a campaign too, right? Or are you the
Yes,
forever DM?
no, I run the Monday game.
Yeah.
I play in Duck
Hello.
Revenue's Tuesday game, and then I run another game on Wednesday.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I was going to
So-
say, there's a lot of people that are DMs that get trapped in this forever DM space.
Yes, that is true. But thankfully, I have a brother who is willing to run games. Yes, Henny, what's up?
Go to File in your top left corner of your Excel page.
Well, this is online. Is this going to work on like Google's? Because this is a Google Excel sheet. He's like, oh no, I don't know if it actually works on that.
Oh, nope, you have to get a browser extension for Google Sheets.
Well, I guess I'll just be blind then.
It's okay. You've got one good eye at least.
Not anymore. Not if I keep having to
Yeah,
stare
now
at
it's
this.
yeah, exactly.
That's melting out of my skull. So I run a game on Monday, or I run the game on Monday, run a game on Wednesday, but I'm able to play on a game on Tuesdays, which is fun. And I think so. One of my monikers is the Eye, and we ran through Mines of Foundelver.
That's a fun one.
And now I think he's coming up with his own campaign after that, and he named it The Broken Eye. And I'm wondering if this is a slight against me, some sort of, precursor to a game of which I will be screaming and angry and crashing out during the game. We'll see.
I think that'd be enjoyable for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean, maybe not you, but...
perhaps, for maybe. Don't know. It's up in the air. I mean, so far, it's been very fun. I play a necromancer by the name of Garen Scarstride, who's a young half-elf. Trying to figure out why he has the powers that he has, because he's not a wizard, he's a sorcerer, that I found a subclass for. I know why he has the powers. Juan knows why he has those powers, but he doesn't know. And I think that Juan is filling in a lot of gaps that I didn't come up with, which is always fun. Because it's been very interesting. The unfortunate thing is I think a lot of the other players don't have backstories like mine, so he doesn't have quite as much to work with when it comes to like direct character interaction with anyone but me. So it does seem to focus on Garen a lot, which whatever. I'm not going to say no to that.
Pocket, you DM too, right?
I used to DM. I'm still working on a campaign that I plan on running as soon as I can get it all together and get it all started. I'm doing eventually like something like Finn's doing here, but the DMs will be more interactive because I don't want to DM the entirety of the Bible.
Oh my god. That's so wild. That's exciting. Do y'all have a preference? Do you guys have a preference? Do you prefer to be DM, or are you kind of just put in that position, or does it vary?
It just varies depending on the campaign. So I would rather much be a player. I feel like I have more creative fun with my player versus being a DM. Because being a DM is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And with a player, it is a lot of work, but I feel like it's more fun because I can throw monkey wrenches in the DM's plans.
That is kind of fun. Do you have a hard time, like as someone who is forever DM, but then you're now being able to play? Do you have a hard time when somebody might be maybe bending the rules a bit or misunderstanding a spell or how it works? Like, is there ever a place where you're like, I gotta jump in, I gotta like course correct or at least give a little feedback here
As like a player or a DM?
as a player?
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I've definitely done that in like the last campaign I was a player in, which we finished in May. It was a 3.5 year long campaign, and by that time I had down pat knew everything
Mhm.
about my character inside and out. And another player actually tried to challenge me on how my particular skill set worked, and I'm like, listen, bud, I've put in the work. I know what I'm doing. And so, in the middle of that, the DM did ask me to like clarify, and I did, and he was super impressed. And because of that, I got an extra inspiration for the, for the campaign
hell yeah.
that session. Yes, loved it for me. Hated it for the wizard because the wizard had no fucking clue what he was talking about.
You're like, I'm so sorry, but also not sorry to school you super hard right now. I hope you packed a lunch.
So
Yeah, for real.
for me, like I remember this one stint after I had started DMing where I was only playing in games, and I realized how much I miss DMing. So when I was DMing, I was like only DMing. I was like, God, I miss playing. And then when I was only playing, I'm like, God, I miss DMing. So I'm definitely like a 50-50 guy. I don't like only doing one or the other. I enjoy doing both, I think, equally. And I do get kind of antsy if I'm only doing one or the other. I also noticed that in almost every game I'm ever playing in, and DMing too, but I usually have veteran players when I'm DMing. When I'm playing, I only am playing with newbies. Only. Every time. There's like in Juan's game, every single
That's wild.
every single player is so like one player had only played one game before, and it was my game, and I think one other. No, that's two people. Two people have only played in one other game, and it was one of my previous campaigns, and the other two have never played before. So I find myself a lot of the time like co-DMing even as a player. So that can get a little off because you don't want to be, as the person that's been playing for 23 years now, it does get a little hard for me to sit there and wait for newbies to like get going. And oftentimes you find yourself, even if you don't want to like lead the charge because nobody else is, right?
Oh yeah, they'll just sit there like, all right, what do you guys do next? And then everybody just sits there with their big deer in the headlights face, like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So then as the veteran player, you're like, okay, do I just wait for them to go and we wait for like 10 minutes before somebody finally makes a move, or do you try to drive the story? And unfortunately, a lot of the times it's gotten to the point where have had to drive the story.
And I hate that.
yeah.
I honestly hate that personally because I feel like that's some main character energy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have a really hard time with that. I'm very like cognizant of the air that I'm taking up, right? Like because I'm a big personality and I love role play and I love building a story. But I don't want to like make other people who are not as forward or as bold or as like maybe have like the same initiative, to use like a D&D term, but like feel like they don't get to have a voice or make a choice. You know what I mean? So I try to be very careful about that. But also I'm not going to wait for 10 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the point. Like, and even as a DM, that's happened to me. Like, I remember, I think it was like 2 games ago that I ran. So not this one that I'm running now, and not the previous one, but the one before that. I would go through like grand narrations of what's going on, where things are, what's going on around them, and you get literal, and then you just sit there and go, all right, so what do you guys do? And it's like 5 minutes of silence. It's like, guys, I need some back and forth. I need something. Like, I've narrated for the
5
past
minutes is
20
so
minutes.
long. Like if we're literally though, like literally, it can't be 5 minutes. I'm thinking like 15 to 30 seconds before
Well,
it's like.
well, here's the
okay.
thing. Here's the thing is that 5 minutes will include them like just joking around or them making
Oh
off
yeah, okay, okay.
comments.
So
But
not
like
silence.
not
yeah,
silence, but like definitely not driving the story anywhere.
yeah.
further.
That's different.
Yeah. Thankfully, in this game, it hasn't happened too much. But like it does. That I think that's been the time that has shaken me the most in my DMing past. Is like narration, silence, and it's like, did I not explain enough? Did I not give you guys enough? And I'm thinking to myself, no, I've been narrating for the past 15 minutes. What do you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, I don't. I don't attribute that to the DM at all. I attribute that to players being unsure of how bold they can be,
Yep.
what their character would actually do in that moment. Like whenever it's silence, I consider it like a consideration of, because there are things that you'll want to do as yourself, the player, but then there are things that your character would do that kind of counter who you are. Because there's a lot of people that really love exploring personalities that are very different from themselves, and I love that. That's actually my favorite thing. But that does take time. So I mean, there is time, there's grace, right? But not too much. Not too much. We want to keep the story going.
Yeah. And then there was another thing we were talking about before I brought up I forgot what it was now. Shit, you guys were talking about something that I wanted to get, and I just completely left my brain. Oh well.
Was it about my upcoming campaign that I've been working on forever?
I think it was something about the process of that you guys were talking about not wanting to DM everything. So are you like switching off with DMs as you're going through?
Yes.
Like, okay. Are they players as well, or just?
Yes.
Okay, that can be a little tricky.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds complicated, but fun.
Well, but the way that it would work out essentially is if the person that's up to DM is DMing, it's going to go chapter by chapter, essentially, like a few chapters at a time. So it's going to essentially go story by story. So if, like, for example, I am going to DM the creation story, and then after that, if I decide I don't want to DM the next story, which is, the Cain and Abel story, then another DM will come in and they will do the DMing of the Cain and Abel, and I can be a player if I want to be. I'm probably not going to be as much of a player, except in certain parts, because one of the rules of my campaign is nobody can pick God and nobody can pick Jesus.
So can you be the angels?
Yeah, you can be angels. Essentially, you can create your character to be anybody as far as like in the NPC part. Because I'm allowing people to play NPCs with sheets already created for certain characters. So they could be like the archangel, they can be an archangel, or they can be like Cain or Abel. But I want other players, like the actual PCs, to have like an Eberron background. Because essentially the way I want it to work out is I want them to somehow travel back from their home in Eberron and get flung into the very beginning of where it would all start in the Bible. And they go through the entire Bible to get home.
I had played around a little bit with an idea of like the last priests of the pagan religions trying to find sanctuary after the Christianization of the Roman Empire. When like all the temples start getting burned and everything else. And I played with that. I even had people make characters for it, but I think that's where I decided that instead of just running another D&D game, I wanted to run something else. And so that's how I got into Wrath and Glory. Because I was like, I've been playing D&D for years now, and I kind of want to get into other games. So I've always wanted to play a Wrath and Glory game. I didn't know how to play it, so I've been learning as I go along with the players. And I'm sure I'm getting a lot of things wrong in that system because it's a completely different system, a lot more technical than D&D is. And there's plenty of other games that I really, really fucking want to get into. One of which being Old Gods of Appalachia, which is a Cypher system game, which I've only played once, so I'm very nervous about running one because it's again a very different system than D&D. But I love that world. If anybody has listened to the podcast, Old Gods of Appalachia, it is an amazing podcast, a horror podcast, and they made a whole TTRPG based off of it. It's so good. But yeah, I'm just so nervous about it. Have you guys gotten into any other TTRPGs besides D&D?
No, not yet.
I've played Werewolf. I've played Vampire. I've run I've run Werewolf. The other game that I really know up and down, but nobody fucking wants to play it, is Palladium's Rifts. Most people hate that system. I absolutely adore it. But I do want to get back into that system eventually.
I think I'd like to play Call of Cthulhu. Like that's been something that I've heard about for years, and I'd really like to be able to join a campaign. I've got a buddy who runs one right now, but it's kind of like a forever thing where it's like he's not really open to like newer players or anything right now, just because he's been doing it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that one sounds really intriguing and really fun.
Hey, Hammy.
You're about to hate a TTRPG that I play a lot, and that's Persona. Sorry. Not sorry.
Why would I hate it?
What is that one?
It's based on anime.
Oh, that's gross. Disgusting. I
love Persona.
I will say there are a lot of anime stuff in Rifts that you can do. So Rifts is a game where it's like post-apocalyptic, and the world gets... Basically what happens is the world's ley lines start opening up, and basically everything that you can think of starts pouring out of dimensional rifts from elsewhere in the galaxy or in other realms. And Japan basically turns into a cyborg samurai ninja thing. It's a wild game. Basically, if you can think of it, there's probably a way to play it, and that goes to you can play a dragon, you can play a cyborg or a robot pilot, you can play a cyborg yourself, you can play as a psyker, a magic user, a demon, a normal farmer. There's no end to the amount of classes that they threw into this game, and that's what makes it very hard to play and run if you just open it up. Like, if you just say anyone can play anything they want, it's hard to run that as a DM. Because the power levels, they say at the beginning again, the power levels of this game are not balanced. You can have somebody basically driving a Gundam in the party, and somebody playing a normal farmer with a pitchfork and a shotgun. And that can be very difficult when you're trying to run fights. So what a lot of DMs in Palladium Rifts do is like, okay, these are the things you can play as. These are the things that you can do so that everyone is on the same level. So that when, because if you're making fights that are going to actually hurt like the more powerful characters in the party, those enemies can one-shot and red mist the lower end party members, and like by just looking at them. So it can be very difficult to run, but it's still a very fun system.
TTRPG? I never heard of it. What kind of weapon is that?
It's a intellectual weapon. Uh,
It's one I've never heard of it.
Well, let's get back into. I don't know where Duck is. Maybe he's had a rough day and he had to go to sleep. I don't know. But let's get into the actual discussion of the topic, the Return of Death, the game that we've been all working on. If we want to go around the table a little bit and discuss what everybody has contributed to the game so far, we'll start with Pocket. What have you thrown into this game?
So I have created 2 NPCs, one of which I know is dead. He's gone. Can't help it. I've also been more of the IT side, so I've been helping with Roll20 because Roll20 is a big old pain in the tuchus, and that's the nicest way to say it. I've also been helping with some players with their sheets as far as how the spells work, how to get the damage and crits to apply correct, get those formulas nice and going there, making sure that they have the correct amount of spell slots for the correct amount of spells as the player if they are a spellcaster. So I've been more behind the scenes doing more, I guess, the tedious little things and just helping them understand how the sheet works and how they can add it themselves. And especially since my lovely, lovely, lovely Fen didn't pay for the way for me not to have to hand jam all of it. So that
I've been thinking
teaching
about
them how to hand jam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
teaching
thinking
them how
about
to hand jam their own. But teaching them how to hand jam their own stuff is also really rewarding, especially if they've never done anything like this before. So if they come across another campaign where Roll20 is like the main focus of what they're using, they'll be able to, instead of dragging and dropping from the compendium, which, by the way, worth every penny. But if it's not available for whatever reason, you can hand jam it yourself as long as you know what you're doing. So that's been fun, teaching people how to do it.
The other part about that is also, as we're teaching new players, they might actually join a game at one point where it's pen and paper. And if, you know, being able to actually hand jam things and actually put things into a sheet and realizing how these things are done and why they're being done and how things crisscross back and forth, it's easier for them to go then to pen and paper than if they can just click and drag everything into the sheet, or the sheet does everything automatically.
Listen, we're all adults here now. I don't feel like going back into high school and writing down all my sources. I
feel like I would refuse.
I mean, I remember 3.5 days where my first character I ever played, I had to look at 3 different books just to make a level 1 character. I had to do, there was a book that had half dragons, which is what I was playing, a book that had the other half of his race, which was half elf, and then I also had to pick up a different book for his class, which was swashbuckler. So like 3 books just for that, and then when I got to a point where I wanted prestige, I had to get a 4th book. So yeah, it's like this is much different than the old days where you had to literally have a library if you wanted to make crazy characters.
I still have the library just because I'm a fucking nerd and I enjoy having the books on hand. It's fun. It's great.
Joke's on you, I don't read.
We know.
Do you want to talk about the characters that you made, Pocket? Because I know that one of them, our dear, who was it again? I did delete his name because I needed to put him into the sheet. But was it Tamos? It was the elf leader of Squad 2. Died before any of the players engaged with him at all, which was very sad. Because Timon, that was his name.
Timon,
yep. Timon died before anyone actually engaged with him. And it was when he died in the skill checks, I was like, well, I felt a little bad for you because you did put some work into that character.
Well, I mean, it was gonna happen eventually. Timon was a bastard, so I mean, he got what was coming to him. To be completely fair.
And who was the other character that you made?
God almighty, I don't have my laptop with me, or I could tell
Delphine.
you, but Delphine, yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it Madame Delacroix?
Yeah, it was Madame Delacroix, who
Yes.
is the head of the military head of the Pale Wing Syndicate.
Yes, second in command.
Well, no, she's the first in command of the military. She just doesn't
Oh,
own
first
it.
command, yeah.
She just doesn't own the company. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about her and how she's been, how the players have interacted with her or anything like that?
Listen, I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you. I have no idea. I have no idea.
What about the tie with a couple of the people actively playing?
I'm 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with all of you. I have not been sitting in on sessions because I've had a lot of like serious health issues,
Oh,
and so I've
okay,
had to step
understood.
back. So I'm keeping it a buck. I have no idea what's been going on.
No, that's fine.
Morgan came through. Hell yeah.
How do you ban somebody?
My
from
love.
pocket from somebody else's life?
Hammy, you
The
don't
same
need
way
the answer to
I'm about
that,
to
or
kick
you
Hammy.
will quickly be banned. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, this is rich coming from the guy that was supposed to be here on time and was not.
Shit, well.
You know what? I had things to do, which meant that I forgot all about it for a second because I was trying not to go to work. But you know, here we are.
There we are.
Oh, wait. I would totally let you get away with that, except for the fact we were literally on a call last night, my guy. I love you. I love you so much, but we were literally on a call.
It's not his fault. I will admit that it's not his fault. Kiara.
Yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about what you've put in.
My main contribution has been creating the treasonous Seraphine and like kind of molding her motivations, her backstory, why she did the things she did.
Mhm.
And that was actually really, really fun because that's something that I, with my outlandish sense of justice, was a challenge but also super fun. I had to like delve into her mind and create her motivations and like try to understand her a little bit. That was a really fun experiment.
What do you think of her end?
Understandable, you know? Here's what I did think. I did think that more people in the party would sympathize with her, especially with fucking the Tin Captain and how just grossly how grossly the things are run now. And like I thought more people would sympathize, but our players got to stay true to their characters and their motivations, right? So it was a really interesting thing to watch how all of that fell out. It was really interesting.
Yeah. I just got a message from Juan's coming. His computer apparently is giving him fuck shit.
Alex did. I was watching that whole thing and I'm like, oh no. Like I felt so bad that you were the only one. I did. It haunted me.
Yeah, I was. I thought that it is an interesting thing because I did wonder going up until that point in my head. Well, like, oh shit, what if the party splits and half of them fight and half of them don't?
Right.
And you know, realizing, especially because the party itself up until that point wasn't a cohesive unit. There's
Yeah, it was really
definitely a lot of conflicting personalities within the party itself, and we're having to deal with that as we will get to the crux of that soon. But having to deal with those clashing personalities within the party, because the party itself, we're running into a couple of things. One, I've noticed that and I'm sure that everybody else here as well, that when you're playing in a game with players that have played together a lot, like there's a little bit more cohesion between players, but when you're playing with players that have never played with each other before, there's going to be that clash. Especially in the early beginning of the campaign, where people are still figuring out their characters and how they're going to move with their characters, and
Yeah.
and figuring out how their characters are going to engage with certain scenarios.
It was very early, and it was actually, it turned into a really cool thing, where we started to get deeper into the beliefs and motivations of the characters. So I really enjoyed seeing it play out. Even though it didn't turn out how I expected, surprises are always fun for me. And so like my heart broke for Alex's character, but also it led to some really fucking awesome both like maybe not character development, but character revelation, where we got to know people on a deeper level, and the dynamics within the team that had just, because it was early, it was new, seeing the team form up in certain ways was very intriguing. I loved all of it. So like it didn't go as expected at all, but that's kind of what I like. I like when things are not expected. It's very, very fun.
Right. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about in terms of your contributions, Kiera?
No, I've it's really been an enjoyable process. Like it's been really fun to I don't know, just kind of explore and kind of like it's interesting before we even start playing. You see how things are set up. You look at what the players will have to deal with and almost try to predict what may happen. That's been really, really fun. And I love that things have not gone as predicted. I'm actually very much looking forward to how it plays out with other things planned. It's been a really fun opportunity. I've really, really liked it.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, Hammy, talk to about your contribution so far.
Yes, my name is Hammy, and I'm alcohol. Oh wait, that's the wrong panel. My bad. So what have I done? Oh man, I've created like 4 different NPCs for our lovely players. One Grugson, another one by the name of oh, I forgot what his name was. But then we have the one you love to hate, the Griff cousin, who is just the most annoying little cousin you could ever have, right behind someone. Everyone loves to hate him. I've also created one NPC that the party only knew about in passing so far, which is by the name of Ortho. And then, of course, the great and lovely Redmar, who is the Dragonborn that some love him, some probably are more kind of like indifferent about him. Also, another big contribution that I helped with was the trial session. The trial session had a lot of work between me and Finn here to get it just right and perfect for not only the players to love and enjoy, but all the viewers at home to love and enjoy.
Yeah. Well, Redmark was definitely a lot of fun to play as. I was, because his motivations, which the players haven't engaged with yet, and why he did a bunch of the things that he did. There's some interesting things in the background of all that we haven't really explored. But yeah, Renmark was a lot of fun to play as, and of course playing as Traven Thistle, which is the Tin Captain's cousin.
Incredible. My favorite character that you play. My favorite. Like, a hands down, no competition at all. Like, that little fucking skis. Ooh, you made that bitch come to life for me. And I like it's really fun like having a character you create and then it's brought to life by somebody else who gets your vision, who gets the thing. It's actually like it's one of my favorite things. It's been the most entertaining part of this. But like that little guy, ooh, you made him so hateable. That takes talent. Like that's talent.
The thing is that is exactly how I couldn't imagine a voice more perfect for the character that I had envisioned to be the most annoying, most absolutely like I want to just straight up murk him right now. Thank you, type of character. Yeah. The actual envision that I had for him, plus that voice was it was like the piece de la resistance. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I have my only issue as a DM that I have been trying to get better at doing is remembering voices. Sometimes I don't get them pinned as quickly as I like, especially if the character there's a long separation between seeing them. So one of the things that I've been trying to like, and I may have to go back, and it's thankful that I have recordings because now I can go back and be like, how did I voice that character again? Oh, okay, I did it this way, and then I can redo it. But like, there have been a lot of times where I've brought a character back, and like I don't think I'm doing the voice right, but it's too late now. I'm already in it. And to anyone who's planning on DMing, like voices are not required. It's just something I really enjoy doing. But there are definitely DMs out there that are amazing DMs that they don't do voices. Yes, and of course Morgan, our resident lore keeper and note taker, has been making entire pages devoted to each of the episodes and has been doing an amazing job.
Where can one find that?
They can find them on the Exiles Discord, actually, which I still still need to put into my bio because I'm a silly person who hasn't done that yet. I keep forgetting to do that. But yes, we have all the episodes on my YouTube page, which is linked in my TikTok. And then, you okay, babe? Your phone? I don't know. Found it. Okay, everything's fine. Where was I? Right. Wait, where was I? Now I forgot. Somebody remind me.
The Chronicles.
Right. So I have on my YouTube page, which is linked in my bio, there is a link to all of the episodes up to this point. And then once I remember, I will put the invite link to our Discord, which has all the written synopses of all the episodes.
Massive props to Morgan for working so hard behind the scenes as well.
Anything else?
Honestly, you can see Morgan as kind of like an unofficial player, but DM too at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Morgan's made music for the game. Morgan's made some of the images for the game. Has done all the notes and the lore for the game. They have been doing a ton of work in the background that I really
highly appreciated.
Yeah. Duck, what have you contributed to the game?
Not a damn thing. I'm just sitting here being real fucking cute. So I've made a bunch of the maps that the players have been running amok on, and I'm pretty sure I've made the owner of the mercenary group.
You did make Valric, yep.
Valric, I thought that was very funny. Giant hippo guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Yeah, that's my contribution. Making sure you guys have visuals to play on.
That has been your number one job so far. And what do you use for that?
There's a couple different things. I like Incarnate a lot because it's an easy tool to do a bunch of stamps and whatnot. There is a subscription now. Unfortunately, before you were able to just buy the license and you just have everything. But yeah, there's a subscription now. Instead, I've been opting to use my iPad and hand drawing half of these maps.
That's incredible. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the swamp map that you guys played on last time, I hand drew that.
Yep. So I don't have that type of artistic capability, so I do give that over to Duck, who has a little bit more creativity and access to that stuff than I do.
The more you know.
But yeah, the maps are mostly all Duck. I think
Thank you.
the only map that we've used recently that was mine was the tower map, because I had a direct vision for it, and I just AI'd it because I was just like, I need to like get this image on paper as quickly as possible. And I also wanted to take a little bit of the work off of Duck, because Duck has a lot of work coming up soon. There's a lot of maps that he's going to have to get engaged with as we progress. Yeah,
that's going to be fun. I'm excited, actually.
All right, so anything else you want to talk about in terms of your contributions?
Personally, no. I do want to say that you don't have to do Incarnate. I mean, there's a free thing that they do. I think you get like 3 free maps to play around with. You don't get all the assets, but it's something to start you with, and you can play around and see if you like it or not. And it doesn't have to be a very large, like, ornate map. You don't have to sit there and try and like put all the details in, because it's not really going to be memorable. The real reason it is memorable is because of the players that get to traverse this whole thing, and the DM putting the hazards, as it were, inside of it.
So what we're going to do now is do a brief overview of the episodes so far. Just so we can engage with specific things that has occurred. So episode 1 opened up with the party already in a fight. We went right into it. Did not do the stereotypical meeting up at a tavern that most games start as, or the Skyrim being in jail and then escaping. But opening up with them already in conflict, already going into what is happening in this world, which is these 2 city-states are at war, hiring a bunch of different groups to fight for them, and this just happens to be one of them. And immediately introducing Seraphine, which is one of Kiara's characters that she made, as a very involved commander, because we did talk about, as we were making these NPCs, about how interactive they are with their squads. Like Taman, who we didn't really get into too much, was very hands-off, very much like a strategist and not a fighter. Where like Seraphine, on the other hand, is very, and most of the commanders that we created are kind of that front line, lead by example type of person. And Seraphine was one of those people, but we did have some differences between the commanders and how they interact with their squads. And Timon was definitely one of those people that was like a chair general, a person that knows the strategies, knows how to run a fight, but doesn't necessarily fight himself. But that's beside the point for now. So we open up with that, with them. Yep.
Yeah, Timon is definitely that of a smart, rich, little privileged kid, and that's why he's no longer here with us. He has been dearly departed.
Very dearly departed. So they fight off the Eltural forces that they were engaged with, capture a couple of people, which brought about some interesting role play in relation to that of how they view the opposite side. There was some conflict and differences of ethics that we have already seen, which is like Tiff, for example, very much about law and order, while who is played by Alex, and then Theron, who's played by Morgan, is more of, listen, we're mercenaries. We don't have to deal with ethics. Like, this isn't what we're here for. So very different personalities with that already springing up in the first episode, and bringing them back, being concerned or not concerned about their well-being, and trying to figure out each other's views on all of this and why they are here. And that was already a very interesting thing to watch. Any comments on any of that?
It was very like whenever you actually look at Theron's character, whenever it came to like the early episodes where Theron helped within the torture scene. Like, when you actually look at Theron as a character, it really, like, falls in line with who Theron is and what they're doing within the entire situation here. Because of, like, it was really, really great reading through the backstory and the alignments and stuff like that of Theron. And knowing that that while Theron may have a specific moral stance, they don't really it really doesn't apply with the ethics that's being at play, right? So that's one of the things that was very, very fun to watch and listen to and hear coming through whenever they were playing in that early episode.
Yeah. And then we move on to episode 2, where we meet more of the NPCs. We met Chef, who everybody, but as far as I am aware, one player doesn't like, but I think everybody else does.
Chef was great. Nick especially liked Chef.
Yeah.
Nick's character.
Yeah. Met Chef, met Delacroix, met I think it was Scythen. We met him for a little bit.
Which I created. I remember now.
Yep.
She said his name.
Yep, Scythen Dale, the the Hobgoblin, second in command of the military. And that's when we got into... Oh, also Doc. Everybody seems to like Doc, the lizard folk surgeon, who I also... That's my favorite character to play as. My favorite character to role play as is the Doc.
Why? Why? Tell us why.
Remember when you read... Yeah.
Go ahead, Hammy.
Tell us why, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
So Doc not only does a voice that I enjoy doing, but also he is just, as far as I'm concerned, the most interesting of the characters, because lizard folk, as described in this world, are usually very, very unconcerned with other sentient races, and they also have this cultural aspect of like just eating meat, like that's like something they are very involved with, and he's turned that from eating meat to studying meat and healing meat, instead of just consuming it, and that's been an interesting prospect as a character to kind of put into the space as this person is kind of alien in terms of emotion and in terms of their reasons for being where they are that are so different than not only the players but the other NPCs at camp. So and I love doing his voice. Yes, come in, let me heal you again. You know, just like that. It's just a fun voice to do, which does fuck my throat up if I do it for too long. But it's just really fun for me.
Yeah,
There was one time.
I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
I know a little bit of like the behind the scenes of the creating of this character, especially since you kind of had a specific player in mind whenever you created him. But the thing is like, I don't. At the same time, I'm like, how and why this character is. Let's face it, he's fucking amazing.
Yeah. Who else did we meet? I think there was a little bit more engagement with Seraphine that episode. Oh yeah, when Theron. So we met. I think the second episode we did meet Valric, the Tin Captain, and we met his cousin during the torture session, which I actually fully expected Theron to get involved with that one way or the other, but that whole scene was, I think, very pivotal to the issues at hand within the Pale Wing Syndicate. This is the conflict between the owner and the worker of this company, where there's just such differences in outlook of why they are members of the Pale Wing Syndicate and what the Pale Wing Syndicate was made for. Where Sarah Delacroix views it as a force for good, Velric views it as a moneymaker, a turnkey. I just get paid to sit here and take jobs, which is all he really gives a fuck about. So that was a very pivotal moment for showing not only the players but also showing the watchers why this conflict is coming about. And then we move into session 3, which is after Chef. I did feel like we needed to do a little bit of a stereotypical quest line where Chef goes, "Hey, there are rats in the basement. Can you take care of those for me?" I felt like that was like the most stereotypical RPG thing I could possibly throw into this, where you guys are level 1, deal with the rats.
Another son need your help.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun because, not only was it like, because the first session we didn't do a real combat, we did like a skill check combat to just like get through the storyline. But this was the first real combat of the game where they're fighting rats and then getting into, wait a minute, there's sabotage going on here. What the fuck is that all about? And not knowing, like, was this El Toro? Was this somebody within the camp? Was it blah, 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 blah? And that was really fun for the players to figure out. And I think I know Morgan called what was happening, but I'm not sure if any of the other players specifically realized what was happening there. And I'm trying to remember, I think it was in session 2 where they noticed there was further conflict going on. If I remember correctly, that's where Seraphine got angry at the mess hall. And I think it was Soren who went and asked her what was going on, and she explained. And then the whole Chef thing where Chef was like, "Hey, there's this problem. Can you guys deal with it?" in a much different voice and tone, but uh, and try and bringing those lines together of what exactly is happening. Which brings us to our first cameo of the game, which was session 4, where our dear Hammy started to play Nick, quote unquote.
Oh, Nick. My name was Nick, darling. I was out here just delivering supplies for the greater good.
Yeah, so that was something that me and Hammy had planned out that we were going to do, where, you know, because of course, like, the prequel to this game occurred, and unfortunately, those recordings are forever lost to the void. But like the whole thing about how the player's previous characters are still in this world. They're still active, even after their death and undeath. Something is going on with them. And I think that's a very fun thing to add to the game. Oftentimes when I'm DMing, and especially if I have players that have played in my previous games, I will either bring out NPCs that they've met before, or I've even brought previous characters that I've played before into their game to kind of, you know, just like a fun little thing. But here, it's even more interesting because we have players in the game who played those characters previously, and bringing them back into this storyline, I think brings they're always worried about when they show up, which is very fun.
Speaking of which, I meant to talk about that earlier when we were going around the table. So I have actually, in the background, I have brought one of the characters that I just finished my campaign with, Elevon, the dear lady Elevon Reigns, who is a complete badassery bard, who not only dabbles in College of Eloquence, but also dabbles in Soul Knife Rogue. And because of the way her campaign ended, she ended up becoming a dean of her own bard rogue college. And she's taken 2 of the players under her tutelage. And I need to get back on that as soon as possible. But that would be Miles Per Hour and Pixie.
So I guess, Hammy, if you want to talk a little bit about that episode, because that was, I mean, that you were the center of that episode. What were your thoughts and engagement with all that? As I pull out a cupcake that I'm going to feast upon and eat, a strawberry shortcake cupcake.
Congratulations!
Looks so yummy. I'm looking at it right now. It looks so good. But Hammy, go ahead. Tell me about that whole episode.
Yeah, so that episode came about because Finn, and like Finn said, him and I had planned it for quite a while. We knew when we were going to do it. We knew when Nick was going to show up. So we get there to the day, and of course, because you know I have the best technology in the world. My phone was not allowing me to join at all. And of course, because every time we do these lives, I'm also at work. Every other minute, I had a customer coming in that would stop me from doing what I'm doing. And then I'm not hearing what it is I'm supposed to be hearing. So that was fun. But other than that, what ends up happening is we have a lovely time where our dear Squad 4, we're on a mission to guard and help transport Nick and his cot of goodies, and we're going through there, and as we are, like, honestly, at this point in time, it felt out of left field. Just the amount of vitriol
Mistrust?
Nick was getting. Yeah, mistrust, and then as it kept going, the straight up vitriol towards Nick that we were getting, because like you're on a mission. This is your mission, and you're already trying to sabotage your own mission, and so it was like, And so, if you ask me to say exactly what it is I said to them, you can forget that because it came straight off the dome. I'm not even gonna lie. I basically whatever is the first thing that popped into my head, that's what came out. That's what came out of Nick's mouth, darling. And so but eventually, with the help of Theron, who was like, hey guys, what the fuck? We have a job here. Let's get the job done. We eventually did end up continuing on. And with Nick definitely telling them that that it was basically the time of his life and he hopes to see them again real soon, darling.
Well, that brings us to the episode that caused us all to sweat, which is session 5, when the party returns from that mission, and a certain someone decides that they're going to go against the rest of the party. One moment.
Does their name rhyme with Biff?
Biff, yes, it rhymes with Biff, Jiff,
Whiff.
GIF,
Whiff.
but yes. So the party returns from that mission, and they go into back to the headquarters to see that it's under attack. Which activated what we like to call a party skill test, which are one of my favorite mechanics that aren't really like, I don't think they're in the games at like the core rulebook at all, but doing like, instead of doing fighting, doing your skills. Like your skills are what's important here. Athletics, acrobatics, arcana, all that sort of thing, to try to promote that not everything needs to be solved by combat, but can be solved through skill application. And not only does that cause the players to think a little bit more other than just combat scenarios, but also what else is my character good at? Nice hard seltzer there, Kara. So yeah, I really enjoy those because it makes players think a little bit more. And also, as we progress, what I have stated out of the game is that in this particular one, because I was introducing the concept, is that eventually I'm going to make it so that the same skill checks can't be used over and over. Once a skill check is used, you guys have to think of another skill to use for that character to solve these problems. So you can't just continuously use athletics. You can't continuously use stealth. There's other skills that you need to be able to apply to these scenarios. It makes the players think. It makes them think strategically because they have to think, okay, I'm really good at stealth, but there's 2 other players that are really good at stealth, but if I use stealth, they won't be able to use it. So I should maybe use a different skill so that players that only have good stealth can use that when their turn comes up. So that's something that we'll be instituting if skill checks come up again, or party skill checks come up again. And usually it's a ratio. It's like, all right, you need to make 3 out of 5, or you need to make 4 out of 7. And if you don't get to that certain point, bad things will happen. Or if there's a timed scenario, like in the battle, where I presented to them, hey, there are all of these hot zones you need to deal with. How are you guys going to separate the party? Because at the end of a round, when everybody does their skills, every hot spot that you don't go to, there's a chance of something bad happening. And that's exactly what happened with Timon, which is where when I rolled for the hot spots to see if something bad happens, I rolled a 1 on Timon. And that's why he died. And I remember because when I rolled that 1, a lot of people thought that that 1 was for Chef. And people had a little mini breakdown. But that was a lot of fun. And then we get to, after the skill checks, we went into a combat scenario where they figured out where the attack was coming from, which was the mansion of Velric. Fought their way through, found out that it was Seraphine that was the one who started all of this. And that's where our dear and lovely Tiff decided to go against the rest of the party's decision, go on her own to fight against the rest of the party, and lose. So I don't want to take over what happened after that, which was my existential crisis. So if you guys want to talk about that a little bit, because I was literally freaking out.
I want to talk about this. Because let me set the scene for you guys, right? So basically, I get a message the following day because it was me, Finn, and Alex, where we discussed that there's a very, very, very good possibility that your character's about to die. And so we were discussing about creating a new character, doing all that. We did all this privately before we kind of went into the more open VC to hang out with everybody. And yes, non-lethally. Smarter off your character. And so then the very next day, I'm relaxing at the house. I'm chilling. I'm thinking, hey, we're about to have a nice cool day. We're probably going to do a DM meeting here in a little bit. And then I get a message, hey, are you busy? From Finn. And I said, no, what's up? I need you in a call right now. So for about a good 3 to maybe 4 hours before we actually went into the more open DM discussion VC, me and Finn are going over several different ideas because his words were, yeah, Morgan just hinted that it's possible that they may not even stay at the company. So what do now? And I'm like,
What do now?
all right. Let's. I was like, look, we got this. You and I, we can get this. We can have at least a good couple of different ideas before we before we take it to the rest of the DMs, get their input, and discuss what we're going to do.
Yeah. So that was a freak out, and Duck was also involved with that discussion as well a bit.
At what point did it turn around for
That's
you
right.
where you were no longer panicking?
Oh, that's a good question.
Halfway through the court.
That's wild.
So it would steadily, slowly declined over the time. So like high panic whenever we first joined when I first joined the private call with him, it went down lower, went down a little bit lower, went up high for the beginning of the campaign of the session, and then finally it started drifting off.
Yeah, so we had to that week create an entire session just to answer that, which was the court martial for Tiff. But I think it was a lot. A, it was a lot of fun, and B, it did also allow us to, I mean, I've never done anything like that. I've never done a court martial for a D&D game before, a courtroom proceeding. I've never done that. So that was a new experience for me, role-playing that out. And there's a lot of... Go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I was just gonna say there was a lot of it that was going on where we like let's face it, like this was a hard position to get us in for a second because we're like Finn said, first ever courtroom proceedings done in a friggin' D&D here on this, at least with him. So there was a lot going on, and it was, as Morgan said in the chat, it was fantastic, fan-fucking-tastic art.
It was so good.
It was emotional where it needed to be. It was kind of clinical where it needed to be, and it really put, I think, for the party in general, it put a lot of it into perspective for the party.
Yes.
Yep. It was interesting. We actually wiped an entire other session that we had planned because we needed to move the story further.
There you go. It's gone. It's gone. Y'all will never see that session ever.
Yeah,
That's gone. However, you can view the other sessions on YouTube.
True. Thank you, Kira. Which brings us, so then, of course, that brings us to our other cameo. And we, just to let everybody know, I have seen people wanting to come up. We will be doing QA after we have done what we planned for this. We will bring up players if they want to ask questions or engage. But that brings us to the second cameo that we had. Which was something that I don't remember if I discussed that with anybody. Do you guys remember? Hanley, did I discuss that cameo with you?
It was a complete and utter shock to me whenever I sat there and like I knew I had a feeling because when we were discussing what was going to happen for that session, like we finally just settled on the court martial and all that stuff, but the cameo was brought up during the actual DM meeting, but it was like something of like, hey, we could do this, we could do that. I don't know. And so like whenever it finally did happen, I knew what was happening, but I didn't like you didn't say, hey, yeah, for sure we're doing this.
Right. Yeah. So what I will say is that behind the scenes, as the second cameo came, which was Morgan's character from the previous campaign, Eleanor, being somehow involved in the this quote unquote city watch, which is now a very secret and like almost inquisitorial organization within Scornabel, bringing that character in. I explained the character, but I wasn't telling anyone what was going on. And then as the character was getting involved into role play, I was furiously typing voice lines to Morgan in DMs to just say as I'm trying to narrate at the same time, because I didn't want to give away what was happening to Morgan up until it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there. Okay. So this is what's going on. And then I go.
That's so challenging.
Yeah, it was very challenging, but I think it was a lot of fun, and it added so much more flavor to what was going on.
Yeah, you did. You did a really good job with that, and that was a very what's the word I want to use? I'm impressed. Color me impressed, because that is a lot of pressure on you as other people are trying to fill in that role. It's interesting, and it's a very interesting way that you actually did that. So,
but yes, as Morgan said, you can definitely hear me typing furiously on the recording as I'm doing this.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So yeah. So that did end with a gay spell on Alex, which, Morgan had no idea that I was doing this up until I started typing to them. So that all went down. The gay spell was put on Tiff to basically be a punishment without just Xing the character, because, I wanted there to be a chance that Tiff survived. And with the rules that were going on, because I was having people roll, having the NPCs have their own things going on, and of course the big thing is when Redmark, who was the pivotal testimony that everybody was waiting for, just refuses to testify against Tiff.
This is the scene where everyone should know, because like out of all of the people who should have sat there and wanted this trial to conclude with the court martial, where it would either end up where it most likely would end up with Tiff, if we're looking at court martials, going up against a firing squad. Like he should be. Tiff threw a freaking eldritch blast at him. Missed, but still, like Tiff was aiming to unalive right then and there. He should want to have this person just gone. And what does he do instead? He says the only betrayal I saw happen with Delacroix. Or Delphine, right?
Yeah.
Delphine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Seraphine.
Seraphine,
Yeah.
sorry.
So yeah, there was that, and there was that interesting thing that I had when Theron. Yes, Morgan. When we get to the QA, you can come up and talk about anything you want. We just want to get through all what we wanted to talk about first. So when Theron activated Divine Sense, and I gave that little tidbit how like Redmark was bleeding, just bleeding celestial energy. There's some info there that nobody engaged with quite yet, but we'll see if that ever comes out. And then see, even Hammy gets the two confused. Justice for Tiff. True. Which brings us to the last two sessions, which was the party was given a mission to go take the tower, or the lighthouse, depending on how you describe it. But the one thing that I will touch upon with the getting to the tower that I wanted to really put a big star on is that this war and the damage it was causing, that like so much magic has been used, so much destruction has been used in this, you know, front line area, this dead no man's land, that even the nature around them is being affected, which is why when they started fighting against the scouting party, that tree started to attack, and that just is pushing this narrative that things are not right. This whole war is causing absolute devastation to not only people's lives but to the land itself. And that was I think my biggest push on that. Like the combat was very fun, but narratively, that was what I was pushing for, was that stark devastation that the people in this area are dealing with. Which brings us to the last episode, which is the tower. The tower has been the pivotal moment. This is the chapter ending. This is when we are moving out of just what is happening in the world and how the players are interacting with it, and that shift of, oh, this is the big thing. This is the campaign's start, like the true story start of the campaign, where now we are realizing, oh shit, everything that has led up to this point, this is the moment. Because after the combat at the tower, there is that explosion, these bombs that the players realized have been strewn about for God knows how many miles in an underground system, masked by to not be seen by magic. That there's this plan going on in the background where these armies are fighting, and there's something else in the background causing this destruction and this sudden explosion of undead necrotic energies. And we left the game last time with the players running from the tower and turning and seeing everyone they had just killed in the last fight rising back up from the dead from the energies from these bombs. This is the stark moment of the campaign. This is where the players themselves are finally getting into the actual story. So that's the unless there's anybody else, anyone wants to talk about that particular part.
I would say that this is the moment within the campaign where, like, the stakes should start to feel really, really weird, real to Squad 4, because this is the moment where it's no longer just two kingdoms going at it and fighting each other. This is now the living versus the undead. And this is where it should start. Like, all of the things moving from this point on should feel, the threat should feel even more real.
Yeah. Agreed. Meanwhile, Theron is unwilling, however, cast. Hey, Cyber. Which brings us to, like, characters in general. Unless, Duck, is there anything you want to break? Because I saw you were off. Is there anything you want to talk about the last session?
Not particularly. I think it went really well. Super fun. People had to use their brains for that one, and there was a bit of fear. So, I think that was good. Very good.
And yes, Morgan.
Yes.
Other than that, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So Morgan.
I think for everybody who wasn't there, we should play a snippet of that song.
I mean, I could play the whole thing if people want. I gotta.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we.
Hell yeah.
Let me just try to find it because it's in Morgan and mine chat.
So I do have to get off. I have to go to work and everything. So
Yeah.
It was fantastic talking with you and explaining the stuff that goes behind everything. So I'll talk to you guys, okay?
All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Doc.
Love you, Duck.
Doc.
Where is it? God damn it. Morgan, if you can resend me it, because I'm scrolling back and I'm not seeing it.
You should just
Search
be able to look
media.
into your media.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, search media.
Go to the search, then media.
Media.
Look at me and you, Kieran. Same exact. Search media. Do it. Search media. Do it.
Listen, we've been on Discord a long time.
Gosh, you and I have been on Discord for
A ridiculous amount of time that I don't want to admit to.
right.
It's not in the media. It might have been a link instead of media.
You can search files too.
Yeah, that's what I did first. I did files first.
Oh, then search media. There should be a link, just a section just for media.
There it is. Yeah, it's a link. It's not a. There it is. God, flashbang! Yay! I got it.
Yay!
So here's the song that Morgan made. So basically, the way that Morgan and I basically did is that these two cities are very interlinked, not only in lore but in geography. Like, they're very close to each other. So a lot of their culture is interlinked, and a lot of their like lore is interlinked. So we figured out, like, they both would share even a lot of military songs with one another. because their militaries would also be very similar. So we discussed how both militaries would use the same song. And so when the two armies began to march at each other in that last episode, they're both singing the same song. So here it is. This is The Long March.
Lay them deep, earth to hold, stone to keep. We march beneath a blood-red sky. We fight against this endless night. We march until the night is through, until the earth remembers you. Steel and flesh, blood and bone, hold the line, we're not alone. Shield to shield, side by side, we'll fight to see the morning light. Every road the fallen tread calls us onward through the dead. Every dawn we swear anew, return them to the earth they knew. Steel and flesh, blood and bone, hold the line, we're not alone. Shield to shield, side by side, we'll fight to see the morning light. Hands release, hearts remain. Rest at last, feel no pain. Fight, fight, fight. Steel and flesh, blood and bone, hold the line, we're not alone. Shield to shield, side by side, we'll fight to see the morning light. We march beneath the blood-red sky. We fight against this endless night. We march until the night is through, until the earth remembers. Until the earth remembers you. Ash to ash, lay them deep. Earth to hold, stone to keep. Hands release, hearts remain. Love endures. Speak their name.
There you go. The battle. The battle hymn
I don't know
of
if you
El
saw it
Toro
in
and
the
Scornabel. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just like, I don't know if you saw it in the comments, but Morgan said that it starts as a funeral dirge for it's a hymn that then, because of the fact that these two kingdoms are at war with each other, this song about funerals and about loss and stuff like that has transformed into the battle hymn it is now.
It also reminds me of the way that it's sung, especially that it's because both of these cities are both on the and I know Morgan hates my pronunciation of this, the Coriantha River. Like they're both trading cities, so they're both very involved on, especially river shipping. This almost sounds like a what do you call it, sea shanty. It also has that kind of feel to it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we so watching these two armies face off against each other, singing the same song at each other, was something that like I think had a thing. And again, Morgan, thank you so much for that. This narrative that these two city states are so alike and still coming into conflict for reasons they don't know or don't seem to really understand anymore, which there's been plenty of wars like that in our history. But yeah, it was a really cool scene that I was able to put together with Morgan's assistance. But is there anything anybody else wants to talk about before we get into Q&A stuff?
No, I mean, I personally, I would love to open up Q&A. I think it's really fun. Honestly, like the player interaction in the comments has been giving me life. I think it'd be fun to have some players up. I think it'd be fun to have other DMs up. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if anybody wants to come up and talk about something, I want to bring up one person at a time, just so that if there's specific questions that people have or comments, that there's not a lot of over talk. But yeah, if anybody wants to come up, talk about the campaign so far, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, don't be afraid to. And while we wait for that. Does anybody want to talk about the characters themselves? Oh, we got one already. Here comes Jess. Hello, Jess. What do you want to talk about with this campaign so far?
Hi, Jess.
Hey. I was curious about how having sub DMs works.
Do you guys want to answer that, or shall I?
Sure. Basically, all the stuff that Finn doesn't want to do, he just gives us.
No.
True. True.
But no, in all seriousness, Finn has a very, very big job where he has to not only come up with the main idea behind this, but he also has to try to do that while also improving whenever you players tend to do other things that, don't really align with how we thought was going to happen, but then we end up, he has to completely come up to the top of his dome mid-actions, mid-session sometimes. So, we take the load off by, helping him out in areas that he might not have time in his normal busy schedule of his actual day job, plus having to DM his. Right, fake news. And so we help with the character creations for the NPCs. We help with, just anything and everything that he really feels like we can help make this campaign shine.
Yeah, it's not just character creation though. Like I think a huge piece of it is the map creation, which is massive. Could never be me. But God damn it, that's integral to how he's streaming and how he's displaying it for the audience, which has been honestly, like, you don't see a lot of D&D campaigns that stream on TikTok that are as successful. Like having a couple viewers is pretty good for a D&D campaign that streams on TikTok, but having 15 to 20 viewers at a time that are invested in the story and invested how it plays, I think that having this visual is really, really helpful. So that if people are more visual people that are, like, we live in a society that's more adapted to video games and more adapted to like visual storytelling. And so that has been massive. But also I will say that a lot of the work that Pockets has done behind the scenes, very, very integral, like working with players on how to use the program he's using, how to navigate it kind of flawlessly, like being familiarized with it. All of that also takes a huge weight off of Fen because he's telling the story and creating the story. But also, like, that's just that it's so good for viewership and the player's experience.
It's the visual aspects of the map making help bring in people to watch it.
The behind the scenes technical aspects help the players be able to play in a very, very fluid way as much as possible. And then the character creation helps Finn be able to know how to bring these characters to life. So that way, when it's time, Finn can draw them in with the maps, but then have them stay for the actual storytelling.
Well, like that's where he shines. Like he shines on all of it. He shines on creating the stories, creating these situations and scenarios, but like just being able to live in the moment, not having to worry about the behind the scenes. I'm struggling. What spell do I have? What my character sheet, my this and my that can detract from someone just trying to tell a story. And so he can really immerse himself, at least from my perspective, like being able to just fully be the characters, fully tell the story is such a gift without all of the other responsibilities.
Okay. Cool.
What they said.
Is it what they said? Wow. Very helpful then.
And
So-
let's face it, having the co-DMs really does help. All of us are out here basically in our elements.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right on that.
Nice. I do want to point out that Nick said that it's just like polyamory, and then right after that, Hammy was talking about helping Finn carry his load. But you know,
It's
What
always
did you say?
it's always a big
Whoa.
load.
What Finn and I do in our private time is our business. This isn't that night.
okay, valid.
Let's make it everyone's business.
My loads is everyone's business. I don't know if I want
Maybe a different panel, but I'm just saying we could.
Yes. Anything
Maybe
else,
a
Jess?
Discord. No, that's it. Thank you all
Of
for answering my
course,
question.
Of course. All right. I think Morgan wanted to come up. Sure, they have a lot to say. Hello, Morgan.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Shit, who knows? Who fucking knows?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you not have a lot to say about it?
What do you mean? Anyways, hi.
Hello.
Hi, Morgan.
Howdy. Howdy, howdy.
I would love to hear the DMs and sub DMs opinions, assessments, potentially not predictions, but maybe potential character arcs that they see happening. Just one. Yeah.
I see.
Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I see. Hey, look at you, ground. But no, I think I see. Like Theron right now is very, very reluctant in the position that
We
they
love a reluctant leader, though. We do.
Yes, we do. I see Theron actually a character arc of them going from reluctant leader into the shining the best leader that could ever be for Squad 4. I see Tiff, who went from this carefree, just do like little oh, I'm just all over the place. Just a little fairy. Ha ha ha. Hee hee. To we already see a change in Tiff, and I think that from this point on, we're going to see a Tiff that is more down to earth and more in this situation, knowing what's happening and what's going to be expected. There's a lot of stuff that I don't want to say, only because I don't want to give away any the stuff that's going to be coming up soon. But I do see a lot of different character arcs, transformations as the campaign keeps going.
Anyone else?
I think we're going to see a lot more But honestly, like I
The
can't.
last session was when he added the most to his notebook.
Yes, yeah. I can't.
Thorn is
like,
still
like,
writing right now.
yeah, he's literally still. I think it's going to be fun. I will say this: it's going to be fun for me, to see how Pixie evolves. It's going to be very, very interesting to me to see how Miles per Hour evolves. I'm deeply invested in each character, but I do have specific players that I'm like, I think there's going to be specific relevance coming up that will push and challenge and motivate people, and I'm very excited to see what happens next. But like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to speculate too much. Also, because I feel like if I speculate, some people, and I'm not going to point out who, may deviate from my speculations just because that's who they are.
Hey now. I know
I didn't
a
say
lot
who.
more about this campaign. I know a lot more about this campaign than I should, and I've been doing really fucking good, okay?
I
will
give so many props. I give so many props.
I will admit,
point
I
out again, I've
learned
been mentioned
yesterday.
names.
I will admit, I did learn yesterday how much more Morgan knows about the campaign, and the fact that Morgan has done everything in their power and has not once metagamed is
No, Morgan does not
fucking
meta. Morgan does not meta. And Morgan, and I hope that I'm not trying to like character, like, anyway, I'm just saying that I believe that many people, Morgan especially, have really strong powers of pattern recognition and are very strong observers and can put together pieces that people don't even realize are pieces. And so, like, I appreciate so hard that Morgan continues to build the story, and that seems to be, to me, what the motivation is. And I love that attitude. I love that so much.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, I'm interested in like, especially in the upcoming episodes, of some of the stuff that might be coming up with characters, of like them dealing with what just happened, both emotionally and interpersonally with other players, as they get drawn into this conspiracy that's going on, and what their motivations are at this point. It's going to be interesting to watch that, especially with, I mean, I am like, there are some interesting backstory things that might come up with players' previous motivations with those characters. Like, for example, Jess's character was, getting into the mercenary company to train up as being like a spy, a scout.
Yes.
And now, like, that specific thing has kind of been taken away from Pixie because, well, we don't really know what's going on with the mercenary company, but the thought is that they were in the middle of that explosion, right? Like, so we're not sure what the current state of the Pale Wing Syndicate is. But definitely things are different. Things have changed. Being in this mercenary company for their own personal reasons, now they're being shoved into this overarching narrative that is taking them away from whatever their personal engagement was with the mercenary company, and now it's survival. Now it's like, oh shit, what are we going to do now that this thing has occurred?
Who am I outside of this
Yeah.
predetermined identity?
Yeah.
I love that.
Miles and Miles being a part of this mercenary company, mostly just to get by, to get a paycheck, and now there's this thing that Miles is not ready for. Like, Miles has not been involved in something like Miles went to school to become a bard.
I was gonna say, I wonder how their education, and what they trained for, what that brings out in them, how that plays in what's coming. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Keep going.
Miles, is now a bard who went to college to play music and join the mercenary company for a paycheck, and now is in the middle of an undead incursion of massive scale. How is that going to turn out? Soren, with his very heavy interest in death.
You can say obsession.
Obsession, yeah, with death, and now he's surrounded by it.
Literally immersed in the undead. Yeah.
And how that's gonna, is that gonna make him rethink his obsession? Is this gonna make him even more obsessed? Tiff being someone in their backstory that doesn't have not a lot of experience with Faerun in general and the workings of it, is more ingrained in the Fae and was even removed from that for a long time, and now is not only having to deal with this massive undead incursion, but is forced to, because now they're linked to Theron through the Gaze spell. How is that going to turn out? What kind of stressors is that going to make?
Especially because, and I think this is really interesting, especially because Tiff didn't trust herself already because of the gaps in her memory. She doesn't have this trust of self. And so, like, playing into the story and now kind of like still wondering maybe who she is, what she's doing, and what her motives are. Are they her motives at all? Like, all of that's very interesting to me as well. I just literally all of this, every character, I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
The character that I'm kind of curious of where it's gonna go is Nick's character Anak. Because Anak comes from my understanding, a culture of war, a culture of strength, and a culture of especially pushing personal strength, right? And several times during these fights especially, Anak is coming up against a wall where my strength is not something I can rely on 100%, because Anak is the one that's been going down almost every combat. And whether Anak is going to be like, okay, my own personal strength and my own personal ability to survive in combat is not something that I can rely on 100%, that I need to rely more on my party than I have previously, or I need to rethink my strategy. Or the other part of that is going, no, this is something I need to do. I need to prove my own personal strength. I need to prove that I can be in the middle of combat and show everyone that I am the Goliath that I was meant to be, the strong, powerful individual that everyone else can lean on, or even if he cares about that. Maybe he's just out to prove to himself and to everyone else that he doesn't need anyone. And where is that going to go?
Right. Like, does he actually care about his renown within the team? Or is it about what he can bring back to his people? Because, like, that's his motivation.
Yes, I'm still here, TikTok.
Are you? That's what's interesting to me. Like, is the development within this team? That's interesting for me about Anak, and I'm stoked to see where that goes. And again, I don't want to like lead people on, but like it is very interesting. Like, okay, that's where your priorities were. Is it going to remain the same?
Mm-hmm. Especially now that you're caught up in whatever the fuck is going on right now.
Exactly.
Do I make it a priority to just prove myself here, or am I going to be like, hey, this is much bigger than myself? Is this
Or his people.
yeah.
Because, like, do they even understand what's going on? I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Depends. Is Chef alive? I don't know. Who knows who's alive and who's dead anymore? No one knows. So yeah, that's what I think we covered everybody. We talked about Theron first. Tiff. Yeah, we got everybody. Yep.
Pixie?
Oh, Pixie. Well, yeah, we
Pixie.
talked about Pixie, like how
Pixie.
Pixie was like, I'm in this to become a better spy, a better scout, but now that like obviously this is way above and beyond what I signed up for. No longer is this just about personal growth. It's also about holy shit, we're in an apocalyptic scenario.
How do my skills, how do my motivations play into the story now when things have just been blown up completely in their face?
Yep.
Right.
Anything else, Morgan?
This is so fun. I'm so excited.
I'm sure I have other things, but I don't know right now, so
Okay.
drop me.
All right. I'm actually curious, Alex, as the person who's made our lives the easiest throughout this game, if there's anything that you want to come up and talk about.
I don't blame Alex. Listen, Alex was the only one who understood Seraphine, and so like as the person who created Seraphine, like I fucked with his motivations so hard.
Also, you have to keep in mind, Kira, that not only did Alex the player, but Tiff the character was thinking that was Delphine, not Seraphine.
Wait, what? Really? Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh god damn it. Okay, alright. I missed that
Yeah.
chapter.
Yeah, there was apparently a slight confusion that Seraphine was not the head of the organization, but just a sub-commander. Anyway, hello, Alex.
Why, hello. How is everyone?
Oh, wonderful. What do you want to talk about?
I did have a question, and this goes for the co-DMs as well as you, Fen. Do you ever feel that when you're DMing, the situations that you're DMing in-game also help in real life? Like you're kind of problem solving these fantastical ideas, so that way when you go back to your real life, you're able to deal with some of those problems a little bit easier?
I think that there is, for me, I think the only thing that really is like something that feeds over to my real life is just the spending like me and Duck play together twice a week, not including the sub DMing that he does, but also he runs a campaign that I play in and I run a campaign that he plays in. And just being able to share stories together, being able to spend that time together is such an amazing thing for me, that I can share these experiences, tell a collaborative story with a person that I consider my brother and others as well. I have several friends that join me in these escapades that I come up with. And that in and of itself, like I'm not sure if there's anything like I can say like, oh, I found this problem solving that I've put into my real life, but just the community that it garners is my big thing. Kiara, you were a stark and heavy yes. Is there something that you wanted to talk about?
No, yeah, I think it's very relevant. It's a reminder, a very blatant reminder of how other people work, because I think we get caught up in our own way of thinking. Like, this is how this should go, and this is the natural progression of a story. But then when you have other people playing into the story, it's like, no, actually, what you thought is absolute garbage. You thought that way. somebody else thought an entirely different way and it made sense, or it created some excitement, or it created some chaos, it created some other challenges. Like, I think that for me, it's a very good reminder of things will not always go the way that you plan them to go. And as someone who is like listen, I don't go with the flow very easily. I fight the flow at every turn because I'm like, this is the most efficient way, or in my mind, it's a very good reminder that other people's perspectives are completely different from me, completely informed by other things that they've experienced. And yeah, so that's why it plays in, and that's why I was so adamant about my yes.
Anyone else? Pocket? Hand?
Well, I was just going to be really facetious and be like, we should not be surprised that Alex would create a character that perpetually throws monkey wrenches when he's our forever op.
Not the forever op.
That is
I don't
true.
even know that he
is
was
true.
trying to throw a monkey wrench though in that situation. I really don't.
But yeah.
No, I mean the character genuinely. So I made sure to put in my character bio that my major flaw is being forgetful, as well as in my backstory. So Tiff genuinely thought that Seraphine was Delacroix. And that's why she was so confused, because she's like, guys, this is the leader of our company, the one who supports us. Like, she's not the GIF, you know?
I think that was incredible storytelling, by the way.
Yeah.
I think everything Fenn's done, especially for and the co-DMs, of course. I think everything character related has been so expertly done, especially because we are 6 very different personalities coming together, which does make the story a lot more difficult. I mean, if this would be everyone meets in a tavern and we all just happen to take the same quest, then everyone's kind of on board with it. Everyone has, similar enough personalities that everyone wants the gold, but when it's a mercenary group, everyone joins for a different reason. Everyone has different motivations, different paths. Like, I think the uphill battle of creating this story, Fen, must not have been easy. There must have been many sleepless nights, especially with the monkey wrenches that I threw in so far.
Honestly, for me, that was the only one. Storytelling for me has always kind of come a little easy, especially when my head is in the right space. And it especially helps that I already have... I've already run this campaign before, so I already kind of know, especially in the beginning, and I don't know if I've told everyone the story. Let me tell this story a little bit. I did run this campaign before, and Duck was one of the players in that campaign. And unfortunately, it did come to an end for reasons that I will tell later, because it does go into the story a little bit. So once that comes up, I will tell more completely the story. But the game ended abruptly, unfortunately, and it was very depressing for me when it ended, because I have this grand arcing story that I put a lot of work and thought into, and it just fucking completely fell apart. So I always thought to myself, well, I want to bring it back. I want to actually tell this story. And although there are heavy story arcs that don't exist because the characters are different, it's still a story that I think is worth to be told. For example, I did the exact same format in the previous game, where there was a prequel game where I had the players play higher level characters, and they fought against the undead dragon, and they all got killed. The one big change, though,
Wow.
was that there was a survivor. The survivor, and this this was something that I always look back at with a little bit of like, ooh, that probably wasn't the greatest idea, but the player was totally fine with it. The advisor, after they had engaged with the orc troop at the town, the player and the advisor got drunk and they slept together. And later, when the battle happened and all the characters died, that player's character got teleported away by the dragon. And before the game had started, I had created 2 envelopes with a folded up piece of paper in each one of them, and I handed those to Duck and at the time his girlfriend, who played the character that the advisor slept with. And it was a Fade to Black thing. It wasn't like I was like, oh, you guys do this and doggy style and all that stuff. Like I was like, oh, you guys go off and blah. But I handed them both an envelope, and I explained that like 10, or I think it was 18 years later, because in that storyline the war went on for a lot longer. 18 years later, 2 figures on a rowboat land in Waterdeep, and they go into a tavern where the mercenary company of that game was hiring. And that's when I told Duck and his girlfriend to open the envelopes. And as the mercenary company commander looked up at them and says, "Why do you want to join the mercenary company?" They opened up the paper that I had in there, and it was character sheets and a line for them to read out loud, which is, "We are looking for our father." And they are playing 2 children of the dragon trying to find the father that killed their mother's friends and shunted her away. So they were playing the children of who you guys know as Malgarius. And that's a whole arc that I had going on in that game that is no longer, not a part of this game.
Now, Fen, have you kept open the possibility of bringing in those previous characters as well as our previous group as well?
No.
Almost like a merging of stories?
No, I haven't. I don't want to do that because this is a complete retelling of the story. There are some NPCs that might come up from previous games. NPCs or X characters that are part of my overarching world of Faerun that I have locked in my head. So you may meet some of them, but no, I don't bring back other people's characters unless I am specifically told to do so or asked to do so. Because they're not mine to play with,
That makes sense. That makes sense. Fair enough.
Anything else?
Well, thank you for letting me come up and ask some
course.
questions.
Of course.
Thanks, Alex. It was
Absolutely,
a great
thank you.
questions, by the way.
Well, unless there's anyone else that wants to come up, I'll give a couple of minutes for that. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about amongst the DMs?
I fear.
Oh, we got Nick. Nick is coming up.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hello, Nick.
Good evening.
What would you like to talk about?
I was just wondering because, like, I know you know my background with D&D. Like, I just play at a small table locally, and we bypass all the role play completely, and we kind of just play through the game with some, like, it's very rare that we'll be at, like, a space or a tavern or something where we have to actually, like, talk to NPCs. For the most part, it's just like us moving through a map and aliving things. And I just wondered, like, what would your guys' be advice for me up in it? You know, I always feel like, y- you know, I think I kind of mentioned it before, where it's like I kind of want to do more, but then I feel like I can't do more, or I don't want to be doing too much, or
Yeah, for me, so there's a couple of things that I've done that I so there's a juggling act that I have to do, right? Where yes, I want a ton of roleplay. I want the players to interact not only with NPCs but with each other. But one of the main things that I also want to keep in mind is that we start at 10:45 my time. We play for 2 hours. It's beyond midnight. We then go for another hour sometimes into 1 a.m. And there is the issue of time that I have to keep track of because I can't stay up up until 4 in the morning playing D&D. So as much as I prioritize role play, but I also have to keep in mind the time. So like there was a lot of role play that could have happened in the last session that I kind of pushed forward with because I realized, oh shit, there's this big thing I got to do with the tower and the bombs, and we're already 2 hours in, and I'm like, fuck,
yeah.
So what I've kind of trying to push with this game specifically is that I try to give you guys openings for those engagements, like especially like during night watches when you guys are bedding down for the evening and you guys are switching off with the watch, or even just before the watch when I'm like, hey, is there anything else you guys want to do as you're setting up camp? Like these are the points where that I hope that my players will take the initiative on to be like, okay, I want to interact with this player. I want to interact with this character. I want to, have a conversation here. And there's those points. And then I even have in the plans for each session, there are some sessions that, yes, you can, Morgan, that there are specific sessions where I have set aside that are just for roleplay, whether it just be with NPC, like when like the sessions where you're all just in the camp together. Those are the openings for you guys to go, oh, I really want to talk to this NPC. Oh shit, I really want to discuss with this player, what happened in the last mission. I do my best to open that up for you, and I don't want to be one of those DMs where like, hey, listen, this is time for you guys to roleplay. Just fucking roleplay already. So I don't want to do that, but like those are the moments where I kind of want to push you guys to kind of take that initiative and go, okay, this is what I'm doing during this time,
So, as the unofficial player mentor, just saying, I advocate for you guys a lot. I want you to understand. As much as I cock up Fenn's fucking campaign, I advocate for you guys a lot. And something that I've discussed with Fenn, because he'll sometimes join me on, or actually usually join me when I'm, rewatching the recordings of the sessions as I'm transcribing and writing the chronicle, that there aren't very many forced pair opportunities, which is something that's a lot more common in games, the tables that I've been at, where if you as a DM notice that certain players aren't interacting as much, it's a little railroady, but it kind of gives the little push. So I'm thinking of employing a two-man watch to see if we can increase the moments for RP.
With the thing with role playing in and of itself, since you are coming from a type of setting where role playing is something that gets bypassed, is that you don't have to have the best improv skills, but whenever a player comes to you, you need to like come up with a plan of either yes anning or no anning, and just kind of see where the flow goes with it by keeping the character you've created in mind, getting in their mindset, and understanding how they personally would respond to whatever it is that the other players are saying. It's something that it can take a little bit of getting used to, but I'm pretty like you've gotten. I will say that it's the role playing aspect has gotten a lot better, and you do really really well. I think because you're great at improv, like coming up with a quip real quick whenever anyone sits there and says a joke at you. And so I think if you just keep up with the kind of improving with what's happening, that helps with transitioning into more role playing.
Okay.
I also wanted to bring up interact with the veteran players at the table. So myself, Alex, O'Thrail, we have lots of experience with roleplay, and we will take all of Fenn's time.
So what I'll say is that, like, probably not this episode, but definitely the next one, there's probably going to be a lot of role play availability for you guys. So, you know, keep that in mind, that I will, you know, I mean, things are going to pick up in terms of pacing. Things are happening quick and fast, but I will still do my best to have episodes of, you know, player interaction, NPC interaction, and how you guys interact is going to be, you know, something that I'm very much looking forward to. So,
Nick, with the campaign that you're playing in, have you talked to the DM about RP, or is it like did you know kind of what you were getting into, or was it kind of unexpected? There wasn't a lot of RP and it was just really combat heavy.
Yeah, like so I had never played D&D before, and it was actually my son who really started talking about it a lot. And the place that runs D&D, it's actually just like up the road from us. So we started like going over to the store, and he started collecting little figures, and then from there I asked him, "Hey, do you have a D&D group that's kid friendly that parents can join into?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, oh definitely," you know. So we started going, and it was just kind of the norm. It was like the preset norm. They don't allow a lot of things. They're very, very G-rated.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like you can still do RP G-rated.
Yeah,
But,
like I haven't gone in a long time because they actually really picked up, and there's a lot of kids who are playing now, and so I save space for those kids to play at the table.
I fuck with that, yeah.
Yeah, so I that's why I just do Monday nights now, because I think it's important that the younger generations be able to get interested in these kind of things, because I felt like for a while there it was kind of starting to die off. Like my grandma, when she owned her bookstore, I know she sold the D&D stuff, like the books mainly, and then other RPG stuff. I can't remember what they were though. And then it felt like it like completely died off for a while, and then started picking up again. And now that I'm seeing youth like getting really interested and active, I stopped going to save space for those kids.
And sometimes I feel like sometimes. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Kira, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
I was going to say, like, it makes sense for more youth-focused, more beginner-focused DMs to be more combat-based and less RP-based, because the younger generation or the younger crowd or the newer crowd is unsure how to navigate those waters. So, like, I feel like that's appropriate.
Yeah.
That would be challenging for me, but that's why when I'm joining campaigns, I make sure that like it's going to be some RP based, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy adventuring. I enjoy RP. Combat's fine, especially depending on the character that I choose to play. But yeah, I can understand the challenge though. I do. I think that you're navigating it the best way that you can, and also making room for the babes. Like that's very admirable, and I love that.
I want to bring back. I want to make nerds cool again. Let the kids play. Come on.
You got to.
You gotta.
Let's be kids.
Exactly.
So
I mean, and
I'm
it's getting them away from like TVs. It's getting them away from iPads. It's getting them socializing. You know, I think it's these RPG type games are extremely important for kids, but that just
I agree. I agree. I think there's something special about imagination. And when you're playing visually driven games that they encounter all the time on their computers or on their consoles, like there's something missing in the imagination aspect. Like there's some role playing games online that, but you're still given. You can create your character. You don't have to really visualize anything. You don't have to create their backstory. It's kind of given to you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So like I completely agree.
I am currently every other Friday running DMing a family D&D campaign. I think the youngest player is 13.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's my family with my nephews and stuff, and we and there is a lot to do with role playing that is very child friendly. Like I sat there and told my players they're like all the stuff like a lot of the adult content such as like smacks and all that stuff and drug use, that's all off the table, right? Like there's not going to be any of that type of situation, but we still have a lot of playing around with the RP, such as like my one of my sisters, she is playing a high elf who is a cleric whose mother and father have become very, very distant with her because of that choice, because it's not, and so there's a lot of like somewhat like themes that may seem adult, but like these are also themes that probably children have come across anyways in other media, and it is very child friendly, and it's very, very okay for the players to be able to play and do without the fear of running into things that children should not be witnessing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, we are coming to the end of tonight's live. I just want to thank my sub DMs for joining me tonight. Thank you, Pocket, Kiara, Hammy. Thank you again, Morgan, for all your contributions thus far. And I hope everybody joins us next week for what would be session 10 of The Return of Death, and the players dealing with the aftermath of the previous episode's fun. But I hope to see you all soon. I will go into Discord for a little bit, and we will probably be bullshitting over there. All right. Love you all. Good night, and
Thank you
be
for
safe.
hosting.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.